What the city is talking about. This is Montreal Now on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
That is James Mennie over at the Montreal Gazette. So, Jim, not really sure where to start today, but I did want to just get your take. I don't think we talked about this yesterday at all. So I was asking the question today what people think of the fact that it took Mayor Plante so long to actually address this, 4 days, and it came up during a press conference based on something else. And I'm talking about the rainfall and the flooding, whatever else. Was this a missed opportunity or just a failure in leadership?
I think she played it safe. It's a terrible thing to say. We're talking about it right now. Callers have sounded off right now. And this, as much fun as this radio segment has been, it'll be as dust in the wind between now and Election Day. However, had she gone out, and people are still confused and people are angry, and let's face it, people are very, very angry, Aaron, because this ain't the first time.
Yeah.
We had callers coming into that. This is like the fourth time I've been flooded. Can you imagine if she had gone out just to show some leadership and had been heckled, even by one person? Do you know how long that recording is going to stay on the internet? Do you know how often that recording would be played during the next election campaign? So, did she make a deliberate choice? Maybe not, but then again, I wouldn't necessarily dismiss it out of hand. And you had a caller, I think his name is Greg, who basically, I think, hit the nail on the head too. There could be a lot of liability going on around here. The best thing to do is keep your head down and don't say anything that your lawyers may live to regret. And I know it sounds terrible, and what you're saying is 100% true, and what callers are saying is 100% true, or it used to be. Show up, show leadership. Unfortunately, now everything you say and do sticks with you forever and ever and ever. And people will, your opponents will turn around and say, "Look at her, she doesn't show up." And then all of a sudden, now that this infrastructure is falling apart, she shows up trying to make some political gain from it. You really can't win. And I mean, I'm just looking at it, and you're talking to a guy who actually wrote the fallout of Jean Doré, saying he wasn't going to return to Montreal after the huge flood of 87 because coming in with a bucket would not change the matter one way or another. He paid for that. But you know what? It's a different world now. And quite frankly, I think when in doubt, keep your mouth shut until you know what's going on. I hate to say it. It sounds terribly cynical, but I'm afraid that's the way things work these days.
All right, let me move on and talk about this. I'm not sure where we're going with this. It looks like the word's out on the LaSalle by-election. This is the one coming up next month. What do you mean?
Did you read the story, the interview today with Charles Milliard, the soon-to-be declared candidate for the leadership of the Quebec Liberal Party?
No, sir.
Well, okay. Before we get there, can I make a suggestion? I'm going to throw it. I'm going to put it in the suggestion box for the show. Okay. At some point, can we start calling him Charlie Billion? I'm just showing that out there.
Okay.
Okay. So Charles Milliard, he's talking away. I'm going to be really great, and I think I have the support of the federal Liberals. Asked him to run in LaSalle-Émard-Verdun.
Oh.
And he thought about it and went, "No, I don't think so." Now, think about that for a second. This is a theoretically bulletproof Shadow 4 of the federal Liberals, or indeed, is it? Anyway, I think when you've got Charles Milliard, who already took the step for the leadership, and then turns around and let's face it, I think if they were going to offer it to him, I mean, it was a theoretical cabinet post for sure. But once again, as I say, I think the word is out. I think the word's out on writing, and I think the word is out on the Liberal government. Like it or not, and whether it's grounded in truth or not, the truth is what people believe. And right now, people believe that the Liberals are well past their due date. They believe Trudeau's well past his due date. And I wish the best of luck to Ms. Palestini, the Liberal candidate in the by-election in LaSalle-Émard-Verdun. And I'm sure she's doing a great job, and I'm sure she's going to do yeoman service. But she's probably up against more in a theoretically Liberal stronghold riding than any other candidate who has come before her. So I wish her the best of luck. But I'm getting a real bad feeling about this. And as I say, you and I may be having a nice conversation about this by-election result, and it won't be about how the Liberals won.
I wonder, Jim, then do we take that to mean that, let's say they don't win, is that another death knell? I mean, if you go back and compare Toronto, St. Paul, it's just another by-election. How much does it signal?
No, it's another. No, the original death knells that should have been paid attention to, as you quite rightly say. June 24th, the by-election in Toronto was a real message to the federal Liberals and to Justin Trudeau, both of whom seem to have completely ignored it. The sonar readings we're getting out of LaSalle-Émard-Verdun suggest the same thing is going to happen, but I'm getting the same feeling that it will be as much water off the same duck's back. I think Justin Trudeau is really, his entourage and his supporters online are living in a really kind of separate bubble, and I think they're in. Listen, I'm not happy to see Pierre Poilievre leading by double digits in the polls. I don't think he's going to do our country any good, which is why I'm even more frustrated by the fact, and as I've said this before, Aaron, Justin Trudeau is handing him this country on a silver platter, and there doesn't seem to be a damn thing the so-called federal Liberal Party can do about it.
I was thinking about that today, on the way in and wondering whether it's a matter of how many punches can Justin Trudeau take? Is he that kind of a guy, that kind of a fighter? Because, we always have to mention, Jim, you bring it up, we're still a long ways away from that election. Lots of things can obviously happen over the course of the months. How many of these before you're battered and bruised and walk away?
In his case, I don't know. Most people would have walked away. Or most people at this point, Aaron, I'm very sorry, would have given some indication as to what their plan is. It seems to me the Liberal strategy is, look at Pierre Poilievre. Look at what you're getting over there. And it's like, we get it. But given the alternative, or given the current offer that we're getting from Justin Trudeau and company, I'm very sorry. Canadians will either hold their noses, or more than likely, and I think this is something that the polls aren't putting out. I think a lot of Liberals who cannot bear the idea of Pierre Poilievre being in charge of anything will simply stay home. But they cannot vote for a guy who clearly has taken the federal Liberal Party and driven it to depths it has never seen in its entire history. We talk about the days, I remember, of Michael Ignatieff and Liberals in disarray. I think the Liberals have become a kind of online footnote. I think there are people inside who are trying to make a difference. They are getting absolutely nowhere. And I think between now and the theoretical date of October 2025, and I say theoretical because I don't put it past them to call a snap election either, to suddenly just wake up, I think I'll have an election today. But I think you are going to see a raft of people who are going to suddenly discover they haven't been spending enough time with their family, and it's time to get the hell out of Dodge.
Jim, before we go, I have Anthony Koch coming on in a couple of minutes' time, and that's because I heard him this morning. He was talking about the whole OQLF thing, the meeting that Jean-François Roberge had with some groups yesterday. One of those groups was not the QCGN because they chose not to attend, and we know why. They said they wanted the health minister there. He wasn't going to show up, so it would have been a waste of time. He calls them out and said, you know what? Basically calling the crybaby, saying, why not just show up, listen to what at least is said, and then you can determine what you want to say afterwards. Do you agree with that assessment or not?
To a certain extent, yeah. You're better to be in the game and then turn around and say this is a terrible game or the game is rigged, to do whatever, but show up in that particular instance. But as I say, I wouldn't put too much skin in this because simply, for me, what's important is the bottom line. I am convinced this is a huge exercise in damage control by the local government. I am convinced that they are going to have to do something more than just pat us on the heads the way they did with McGill. This will not be allowed to stand. They're going to have to turn around and, quite frankly, it may be a 30-page directive saying the exact opposite of what's freaking everybody out. But that's what I want to see. I don't give a damn who showed up at the meeting, Aaron. I want to see what the results are, and I want to see them sooner rather than later.
James Mennie at the Montreal Gazette. Thank you, Jim.
Adamant.